recording back. So my name is Beth, for those of you that don't know me. We love running these Coach Sneak Peeks. This one will be hosted by Mallory and myself, but regardless of who invited you to this sneak peek, get used to seeing our faces if you do decide that this is an opportunity you want to take advantage of, because we are always kind of hosting these things together. We're always really focused on building our tribe and our community, regardless of who your coach is or who invites you to these super fun things. So like I said, my name is Beth, and I'm going to kind of get us kick-started off with just sharing a little bit about my story, kind of how I became a coach, what I do as a coach, why I'm still a coach 2.5 years later. I'll talk a little bit about the time that it takes to invest in being a coach, and then what kind of support you will have if you do decide that you want to be a coach on our team. And then I'll pass the mic over to Mallory, and she's going to talk a little bit about her story, and then also some of the fun logistical pieces of the business, if you will, as far as the discount that you get with being a coach and kind of how we get paid, and then address a few objections that we hear pretty frequently as to maybe some thoughts or some concerns that you may be having as to why you're hesitant about jumping all in with this. So like I said earlier, my name is Beth. I've been a coach for about 2.5 years. I did not know that coaching was a thing whenever I found Beachbody. I didn't even know what Beachbody was. I just knew that I needed some sort of resolution and solution to this ongoing battle that was my health and fitness journey. I was totally the one who would go through these phases of dieting down for a pageant or a fitness competition, or just being absolutely miserable in the skin I was in, and matching my efforts in my health and fitness journey to that, just so that I could feel my best, so to speak. But it was a miserable experience just to kind of go in the other direction. And I had a terrible relationship with food, so I would kind of go on these bingers, if you will, of gaining, 20 or 30 pounds at a time, losing it, gaining 20 or 30 pounds at a time and losing it. And I really felt like the only way that I was ever going to love the person I was looking at in the mirror is if I kept those 20 or 30 pounds off. And the only way that I thought I could do that was by spending a couple hours a day in the gym and eating chicken, rice, and broccoli 3 times a day, which affected my the mental part of what is a health and fitness transformation. And so it was just a really miserable journey and process for me up until I was about 26 years old. And so I met a friend. I moved to a new state, met a friend. She asked me to do this at-home workout program with her. And I was like, absolutely no way. There's no, I cannot get results by working out at home. Kudos to you for having this figured out and having something that works for you. But that's not going to work for me. It's never worked for me. She kept asking, and she kept asking, and she kept asking. And January 1st was rolling around. And of course I had that New Year's resolution of losing those extra 15 pounds I had put on. And so I literally said yes to her just for the sake of her, so she would stop asking me to do this workout program with her. And so it was a 60-day program. If you're not familiar with it, it's called the Masters Hammer and Chisel. That was my first Beachbody program that I ever did. And this was before we had, for those of you that are in a challenge group or in an accountability group and you have Beachbody On Demand, this was kind of pre what Beachbody On Demand is. So we still have these DVDs that you would use in the DVD player. So she gave me her DVDs, and we went through this program together, and it literally changed my life. And now, depending on where you're coming from as far as listening to this call is concerned, maybe you're in a challenge group, maybe you've only been in the challenge group for a week or two, maybe you've been through a few challenge groups, or maybe you're like, what is a challenge group? And you've never been in one before, and you're just sitting in to learn a little bit more about coaching. Just know that our programs will change your life if you allow them to. And this little testimony that I'm giving is the perfect example of that. That is how I found Beachbody. The first time I had ever heard the words Beachbody was when I found this program, and I knew that it was a fitness program that Beachbody had created. And then, of course, I realized that our most infamous programs like P90X and Insanity were Beachbody programs as well, and I kind of just pieced everything together and made sense of it that way. So I finished that program, totally changed my life. I knew nothing about the coaching opportunity, didn't know it was a thing, but I knew that because how this program had essentially saved my life, I needed to share that with other people so I started Googling and watching YouTube and just kind of digging really deep into this coaching aspect of the business to kind of figure out a little bit more as to what that looked like, what that would entail, what that would mean, for me and within my life. And I realized that literally what I would have to do as a coach is share these programs with other people, which is what I was wanting to do, and just cheer them on. Like, how cool does that sound? And so that is why I became a coach. I became a coach not for any financial benefit or anything like that. I literally just wanted to be other people's cheerleaders who were doing these same programs that I was doing, so that I could watch them experience and go through what I was experiencing, what I was going through. And so I signed up to be a coach after about 6 months after completing that program. And I just started to invite my closest friends and family to join me. I shared what I was doing, and I talked through kind of how I had transformed on the inside out from just doing this 60-day program at home, working out in my living room. I didn't have a home gym or anything. I just followed the nutrition plan that it came with, and I did the workouts. I pressed play every single day. And I just sent a sweaty selfie to my friend who was doing the program with me to hold me accountable, and my life was forever changed. And so that's kind of how I came into coaching. Now, my coaching journey has evolved over the course of the past 2.5 years. And I think that it's really important for me to share that piece as well, because regardless of what you decide after this coaching sneak peek is over, I want you to know that it's okay for your goals within this business to shift and change. And I think that regardless of who invited you to this sneak peek, if you talk with them, you will quickly see that they're more likely than not, their goals within this business have changed. Whether that was, them starting out like I did, where I just wanted to help a few people every month and hold myself accountable, essentially, and help a few people along the way. Or whether they have really big, scary business goals right off the bat. Maybe you see this as an opportunity to quit your full-time job or to pay off a lot of debt, or, so on and so forth. And so that is the beautiful part about this business, is that it doesn't matter what your goals are. It doesn't even matter if you don't know what your goals are or why you decided to sit in on the sneak peek. Maybe you just follow the coach that invited you on social media and you're like, hey, it looks like she has a lot of fun. I want to know a little bit more about what she does. That's okay too. You don't have to have goals set. I just want you to know, kind of going into this, and as we kind of get a little bit more into the nitty gritty as to what is coaching, that it's okay to allow yourself to kind of explore how this business can really fit into your life. So that is how my coaching journey started. It literally started by me focusing on my own journey, making myself a priority, pressing play every day. And then as my goals within the business started to grow and change and develop, essentially, I just started sharing that journey with other people. And it was amazing to me how many people were watching me who maybe didn't say anything at first. I didn't know anybody was paying attention to what I was doing. I was using my social media as an accountability system to show up every day. And that inspired other people who then started asking me questions. And then it has just been the most amazing journey thus far. Here we are 2 years later. And it still amazes me every day when somebody reaches out just to let me know that me showing up for myself every day inspires them to want to do the same. And so I'm sure that you have maybe experienced that by watching the coach that invited you to this sneak peek. Maybe they've inspired you with their workouts, or just by sharing their lives, any part of their lives in general. So that is literally what a coach is. A coach is a cheerleader, a motivator, a supporter. We obviously build a team and a community of women who are, we're also very different, but we're also like-minded in the sense that we have gotten to a point in our journey to where we understand that we are better humans and women and wives and mothers and sisters and just people in general because of what these programs force you to do, which is to make yourself a priority. And the coaching piece is just sharing that with other people, whatever that looks like for you based on your goals. And so another reason why we like to kind of share our backstory with you all is because as you go through this journey, your own health and fitness journey, if you've been on your own health and fitness journey for more than a second, you know how important it is to stay really connected to that why, right? Like, why did you say yes to a challenge group? Or why are you thinking about saying yes to a challenge group? Or why did you say yes to sitting in on this sneak peek? Whatever that why is that you're so deeply connected to and rooted to, that is going to be what keeps you going in your own health and fitness journey when things get hard, when you don't want to press play, or you don't want to make the healthier decision, or you don't want to read the book that you know is going to fuel your brain and make the rest of your day just a little bit better. Staying really deeply connected to that. Like I stay really deeply connected as to why I started this business with how much it changed my life, is what keeps me so excited about being a coach and about sharing my story. And it makes, you may be thinking, Mallory, you'll talk a little bit later about how, one of the things that we hear most often is that I don't know about sharing my life on social media. Like, that sounds a little scary. It sounds a little uncomfortable. I don't know about that. But if that's what forces me to show up every single day, is knowing that somebody out there is going through something I'm going through. They need to hear what I have to say, and staying really connected to that why is what kind of forces me to continue to show up. And so kind of moving forward into what that looks like. So now that you know what a coach is, obviously, literally a cheerleader who focuses on your own journey and shares that with other people, the amount of time that it takes to run this business or to do this coaching thing is totally up to you. And I like to compare it to our health and fitness program. So whenever you're picking a health and fitness program, a big kind of piece of the puzzle as far as deciding which program you're going to pick is probably how much time do you have? Do you have time to do 80-day obsession, which has 60-minute workouts every day? Or do you want to do the new Transform 20 program where the workouts are only 20 minutes a day? Same kind of thing with your coaching business. Your goals will dictate how much time you pour into it. What your life looks like will dictate how much time you put into it. It is absolutely your choice if you spend 10 minutes a day on this business, or 60 minutes a day on this business, or 3 hours a day on this business. I can promise you that what you put in is what you're going to get out, and that the sky is literally the limit, and you will have all of the support and all of the resources that you need in order to match the goals that you have based on how much time you're putting into your business. And so our entire team is here to support you and help encourage you and motivate you. And like I talked about earlier, it's okay for those goals to shift and change. If you start out both feet in, you're going all in, you're working your business 2 hours a day from, right from the beginning, you're learning every aspect of the business, but then life gets busy or life gets in the way. Guess what? This is your business. You get to decide if you need to take a step back, if you need to reprioritize, if you need to figure things out, or vice versa. If you just kind of take advantage of this opportunity and put one foot in and then decide that you need more of it, which I'm confident you will, and you want to jump, both feet first in, guess what? You will have the support to do that as well. And so that's the really cool thing about this, is that regardless of whether you sign up for the discount on Shakeology, regardless of whether you sign up to just make a couple extra $100 a month to pay for your groceries, or whether you really do want to make a big business out of this, the time that you put into it will be dictated by what those goals look like. And so another really cool piece of that puzzle is kind of the training and the resources that come with you deciding what that looks like for you. So our team has an entire training website that has been created to help make building this business easy and extremely duplicatable. So if you decide that this is something that you want to do, you'll get signed up with the coach that invited you. You'll get plugged into a new coach training. You'll go through that training, and you'll have kind of all of the basics that you need to get your business started. And then once you complete that training, based on your goals, you'll work with your upline coach, whoever invited you to this group, to kind of figure out what those goals look like. And then based on what those goals look like, you'll be put into another training group to just help continue helping you learn and grow in your business venture. So one thing that you will never be short of is support and resources. We have weekly team calls where we meet just like this, and we learn and we grow together. We have monthly coffee chats where we literally show up just early on a Saturday morning and chat with each other and learn and grow together. And so the point in all of that is to let you know that whether you need to make your health and fitness journey even more of a priority than it is now, or you just need to make yourself more of a priority, more than you are now, or you need a community of women and a tribe of women supporting you and motivating you along the way, or you want to help other people, or you want to share some kind of message or your story with other people, this business is for you. And you get to decide what that looks like. And our team is here to just support you and encourage you along the way. So that is all that I wanted to chat about specifically. I'm going to pass it over to Mallory, and she's going to talk a little bit more about herself and the coaching opportunity in general.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay. Hey, so I'm Mallory. Thank you for the introduction. I have a few coaches on this call, and I think some of my coaches have ladies that will be listening to this call, and I have some ladies I'm sending this to later as well. So I think Beth and I are just like super excited about this year and about growing our team. And so I'm super excited about tonight because it's just our first coach sneak peek of the year. These always get me super amped up about just my team that I have, my team's potential. And it's funny because I didn't even know, let's see, I've been coaching for a year and a couple weeks. And before that, I didn't really know anything about the fact that Beachbody even had coaches. I had done some Beachbody workouts like a decade ago. I had P90X DVDs that I did in my garage because I felt weird going to the gym. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I go through all these DVDs and I got in like super good shape. And, you know, I was in my 20s and feel comfortable going to the gym. And like kind of fast forward, I, get pregnant. I got married. That's the right order, by the way. I got pregnant before I got married. Oopsie. And I didn't work out at all during my pregnancy, which I kind of went on this back and forth thing in my 20s of like being super fit and like just not going to the gym for like back into it and get out of it. And I got pregnant, like, so yeah, interested in working out. I maybe like walked the dog a little bit more, but that was it. And I gained like 55 pounds when I was pregnant with Brooklyn, who is now 8. And I didn't really know how to lose weight because I never had to in my life. Like I always was like kind of fit and kind of active, and I never really had to watch what I ate. So for the first time in my life, I really, really paid attention to it. And it was hard because I was like not as active when I was pregnant. And so I wasn't in even really decent shape to start like running. Like I couldn't go run around. I couldn't run a quarter of a mile, which I used to run cross country in high school, by the way. So that was like defeating to me. I didn't really know what to do. Couldn't go to the gym. So I like pulled back out these P90X DVDs because I was at home with a baby and I felt more comfortable doing it. My gym clothes like didn't fit me. And I told Beth, I think a few days ago that I was like, by the way, when I was pregnant, there is no such thing as like pregnancy or maternity leggings. Like that didn't exist. I like was cutting leggings so that I could put them on and work out, which is terrible. And so kind of get back into shape, and I got back into like a fitness regimen again. A few years go by, I get pregnant again, and I like, hey, remember what happened last time? Like you gained 55 pounds. You should maybe sort that out ahead of time this time. So I stayed a little bit more active when I was pregnant, and wouldn't you know, like I still gained 55 pounds, which kind of seems not fair, but I will say that I bounced back so much faster because I continued doing like P90X when I was working out. Again, that's like the only Beachbody program I knew existed because I lived under a rock. And anytime I would hear like 21 Day Fix or anything else come out, I was like, oh, Tony Horton's doing a new program. Like I literally like, whoop, in one ear out the other. I didn't pay any attention. Like I had my 12 DVDs and I was like, good for life. I didn't need anything else. And then, you know, life happens. I ended up going through a divorce and I have these 2 small children. I, for the first time ever, was like trying to figure out how to pay my own bills and do my own thing. And I was like, became just super obsessed with money. And like, I'm in sales. I work a full-time sales job right now. And so I always was like money driven, but it was never fully my responsibility to like pay my mortgage and pay my daycare and do all this stuff. So I was kind of in this weird place. And, a couple of years go by and I'm like in a new relationship and I'm in a new house and I'm in this new household where like I'm back to this feeling of like having help with the mortgage and help with whatever. But like mentally, even now, like mentally, I just feel so much more pressure to like bring more money in and to make sure I'm making enough to like provide for my family if something happens. And last year, this is after like watching Beth do some of these sneak peeks. I'd never done a challenge group. I didn't have any idea what a challenge group was. I had no idea what Beth was talking and coaching about. It had anything to do with something I did in my garage 10 years earlier, like had no idea there was any connection. And I set it on a sneak peek like this out of like, sure, like I like Beth, I know Beth, and kind of ghosted her. Didn't really know what it was about, but was like, it's definitely not for me. Like that thing you're doing on the screen, I can't do that. Which I have a funny story for you after this that I confessed to Teresa the other day that I'll tell you. And so I ghosted her. And then, a few months go by and I'm still following Beth and I'm in advertising and it's the end of the year and we have these annual meetings come around and a huge account of mine didn't come back. So that was like a significant portion of my income. And I'm talking like 25% of my income was like not coming back. And I called Beth that day and I said, hey, I am really sorry for ignoring you. Like some of those messages I never responded to, but like sign me up as a coach. She's like, okay, do you want to know more about it? And I was like, sure, like explain it to me. But in my head, I already knew like, I think you make money on this. I think I could do this. I work out. I kind of do the Beachbody thing, but like I didn't really actively. So I kind of agreed to this and I wasn't even fully knowing what I was committing to. I just knew I was committing to it. And I did. And I'm talking to Beth and she's talking about this new program called 80-Day Obsession. And when I tell you that I started that program and it changed my life, like it 100% changed my life. It shifted my perspective on so much stuff. I had no idea at the time that I needed this in my life as much as I did, that I needed the programs and the consistency and the accountability and how much I get from our team. I didn't know that I was missing that. Like I went through this relationship in my, 20s that I didn't really have any close girlfriends, like literally none. Like my sisters were my maid of honor and my, that was it. Like I didn't have any other like close friends. And I have more girls I would consider my close friends now. And I know them from this. Like I know them from meeting with them once a week on calls and from seeing them every few months at live workouts. And, I'm going through this program and I think I'm like, by the way, like ex-pageant girl, I say like, we're husbands, whatever. It's my joke. 'Cause I can't prance around in a crowd anymore. And it's like not cute when you're 32 with children. So I'm like, when I say like, I'm vain and like, I never saw myself ever getting on Instagram, like without makeup or without whatever, like I went through 80-Day Obsession, like legit showing up looking haggard as like every day, working out, being completely honest. And it was the best thing I ever did. It was probably the most like honest I've been with myself. I feel it sounds so silly, but showing up when you're most uncomfortable. I don't go to Target without makeup on. And I'm like, but it's fine if like 500 people watch my story on Instagram. What? Like, it's so weird. It's just this weird thing that I became comfortable with. And like over time, I was able to, get past that fear. And it was honestly like the best decision I ever made. So I want to talk about the money because that's what we want to talk about. But before I do, I want to like touch really fast on that story I was going to tell you about because it has to do with me freaking out about being on camera and like sharing my story. So Beth does not know this. So story time for you too. When I first started coaching and I started like doing really well and I was getting people to join me and I was like super, super excited. And we have this thing called Success Club. And, when you get like 3 people, you hit like your first Success Club. When you get 6 people to join you, hit your next Success Club. And I was getting a lot of people to join me and I was just really excited. And Beth asked me to do this call on was it, I don't remember if it was like how I was getting to Success Club, but I'm fairly certain because I had a notebook full and I was sitting over there because it's like still in my head of like, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. But we were talking about me, the salesperson, how I like wasn't a salesperson or how I wasn't selling. I don't remember if you remember that call. I don't think Teresa or Jen, you guys were coaches yet. But I had this whole thing prepared and I'd worked on it for like an hour the night before. And I had gone through this whole like presentation I wanted to do about, like why we're not sellers, why like all we're doing is really like being us and doing our workout and doing this thing every day. And we show up and we work out and like, that's it. We're not selling. And I showed up on the Zoom call to do the training. And I think Beth was like at a hair appointment and was like mobile doing it. And she was recording from her phone. And I like showed up and I left. Like I left the Zoom call, like nobody was on it for like a minute and I was like, whoop, got out of it and like whoop, deleted like the thing. And then was like, got myself together. It's like, okay, I think she's going to be kind of bummed that I said I would do this thing and I prepared all of this. And so then I went live on our Facebook group and I told Beth that I couldn't get the Zoom to work or something. Just like so freaking out about it. And I was so embarrassed and I was like, okay, so a year later, I'm telling you, but I will say a year later, look at me on a Zoom call. I'm still here and I haven't like told you it's not working. So anyways, progress. So anyways, let's talk about the money. I was watching some other call the other day and one of these coaches said, the amount of money you make is directly related to the number of lives that you change. And if you think about that on so many levels, it's 100% true because of how we make money. We're a multi-level marketing company. And so there's all of these different tiers and ways that we can make money. And, you connect with people and then your people connect with people. So then you're affecting all of those people and then it goes down another level. And so, the more that you're connected to people and the bigger your network grows, the more money you make. And so I want to just like really quickly and simply go over a few different ways that you can make money. And the fastest, easiest way for us to make money is by selling a challenge pack, by getting people to do our boot camps. I think a lot of you guys, if you haven't bought a challenge pack or you haven't bought Beachbody on Demand, when we sign you guys up, we want you to get plugged into a challenge group. We want you to be drinking Shakeology. We want you to be doing the supplements. And so when we sell somebody that, we're making commission on that. We make like anywhere from like a 25% to like a 40% commission on everything we sell, just depending on how it's packaged together. So when you're doing the quick math, basically I say, if you buy a challenge pack and you sign up as a coach, a challenge pack is $160. We sign coaches up and challengers up the exact same way. You pay the exact same thing because when we sign you up as a coach, we want to make sure you are doing the program, right? We want to make sure you're going through a workout, you're doing the shakes, you're drinking the supplements and all of that stuff. And so they waive your coaching fee, they waive your sign-up fee when you do that, which is amazing. But that also means that how we make commission, you only need to get 3 other people to sign up with you to pay for your challenge pack because we make like $50 per challenge pack. So if you are thinking about doing this coaching thing and you're like, oh, I don't know, like I haven't bought a challenge pack, I don't know. If you're thinking about it in the way of like, I think I could probably get 3 people to do this with me, it's done and paid for. And you already have 3 people to join you and you've already hit our first awesome rank in the business called Success Club. So it's a really pretty simple thing and it's really easy in literally like the first 24 hours of you coaching to be able to, 1, pay for your challenge pack, which covers everything you need to get going, and to also hit our first recognition rank, which is amazing. So as you continue to sign people up, you continue to make 25% commission on everything that they're purchasing. And then as you start building your team, the first like awesome rank in our business is called Emerald. And basically it just means you have 2 coaches underneath you. We have 2 legs of our business. We call it a right leg and a left leg. And when you have 1 coach on each leg, you start making what's called team cycle bonuses, which is basically just a small percentage of what they are selling, right? We our bonuses are based on volume, which nearly equates to dollars. But when the volume that they have reaches a certain amount, we have a team cycle bonus, which is like extra money for us because you're really not doing anything for it. The second way that you get paid when you're an Emerald coach is Beachbody leads. And so when you have hit your Success Club 5 or your Success Club 10 and you're an Emerald coach, you start getting free leads from Beachbody. So like if you didn't go to somebody like me or Beth or Teresa to sign up to be a coach, you can go to beachbodyondemand.com or teambeachbody.com, sign up, and they will actually assign you a coach because they want to make sure that you have success in your transformation, in your progress, and everything they do. They want you to be plugged in to a challenge group. So that means I get leads every month. All of our coaches that have Success Club and they're an Emerald coach, they will continue to get leads. I will say, I literally call it the email fairy because the leads kind of vary from month to month. January, think about how many people sign up for stuff in January. Like, it's insane the number of leads that we're getting right now. And it varies. But okay, so there's the second rank. The next way that you start making bonuses is really just as you start building your team. The company actually gives away like 2% of its total earnings. So they split it up between their top coaches. So once you become a 2-star diamond or a 5-star, a 10-star, 15, which means nothing to you now, but just know that as you continue to grow your business and build your team, know that the company really rewards you for doing that. And the 2% of the company earnings are divided up among us. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. So briefly talk about income. There's so many more questions I'm sure you guys probably have, but that is the overview. And like I said, because we make 25% commission on stuff, we also get a 25% discount. So I actually mentioned this to a lot of my girls when they're signing up. If you have not been a coach or if you have not bought a challenge pack before, or if you are a challenger now and you're continuing to order Shakeology, you save about $30 a month just by being a coach. We do have a $16 fee that we pay every month just for us to have access to the coach office and all of the training and be plugged into everything. We get a 25% discount. So if you're drinking at least minimally Shakeology, you need to have it. I think I have a handful of girls on my team that I say that they're my preferred customers because they're doing it, they're plugged in, and they get really good results, and they know they're going to drink it like indefinitely. So it makes total sense. The other thing is about signing up to be a coach, even if you're a challenger now and you sign up to be for a discount. The great thing about coaching with us is it's not like coaching for like Mary Kay or something where you're buying all of this product that you have to have in your basement that you're never going to use, or you like hope that you sell. You are just using the product every month, and you are showing up and working out and drinking your shake. You don't have to sign anything that says I will order X amount of product. I need to sell X amount of whatever. If you don't want to be an active coach, you don't order anything that month. If you want to decide to be active again and you want to get back plugged into a challenge group, then you still have that 25% discount. And as soon as you order it, it applies again. So there's really nothing to lose when you sign up. There's not like this big expensive thing that I think a lot of people fear. And that actually, it made a difference to me when I signed up, because I do have like $1,000 worth of Mary Kay sitting in my bathroom that I've never used. Oops. So I guess the only other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is maybe what might be holding you back from doing it. I think the biggest thing, and even in talking to people when I was inviting them to this coach sneak peek, was like, girl, I just don't have the time. Like, who has the time? You know what I mean? Like, you make time for things that are important to you. I think I hear all that. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to do this, but I do have time to watch Schitt's Creek on Netflix. And by the way, if you've not seen that show, it's really good. And they're 20-minute episodes. But I'm saying you can make the time. Listen, I have a full-time job. I say this all the time. I have enough kids in the house that I could fill a Tahoe. We are crazy. Like, I can hear them all brushing their teeth out there, and you can't hear them, but it sounds like a kindergarten class out there. Like, there's a lot happening. we are busy. We travel. My spouse is in a band. He tours. We are just like, we are insane. And I tell you what keeps me together and keeps me sane and focused is this group. I never have been busier in my life. And I've also never been as focused and as put together and have gotten as much done. So if you want to talk about the time thing, talk to me because I'm real busy. Another big one. This is the biggest one. And this is the one for me that I'm like, I want to be in better shape first. Do you? Because when I signed up, I wanted to be able to lose 30 pounds. You know why? Because people connect with you when you're on your fitness journey more than ever. Like they want to see you put in work. They want to see you doing something and showing up every day. And you know what else? I think there are people out there that want to see you not show up. So it feels really damn good when you do show up and you do have the transformation and you can say like, hey, look at me. I did do 80-day obsession. I did finish Transform 20. I did every single day, every single workout. I drank my shake. I drank my supplements. I had an amazing transformation. So good for you. So for all of you that say, I want to lose weight first or like have my amazing before or after, sister, don't do that because you've then missed all of those people that would have been following you and getting on board with you during that time that you were putting in the grind to do it. Okay, here's another one. What if I can't get anyone to join me? We all have that fear, all of us. I think we all have the same fear of like, what if I post something on Instagram or Facebook and I make this big announcement of like, I'm doing this thing and then it's crickets. And I think what we have all found is that if you are going to put yourself out there and you're going to be honest and you're going to know your why, like in your core and be able to explain why you're doing this and why you want other people to do it, and you can be transparent and honest about it, people will want to join you. People need that in their lives. They need people to help them, to push them, to inspire them. Like that's what we all crave, right? And I think it's amazing. I think every coach on this call would say that they've had numerous people reach out to them, probably that they didn't even know, and say, even if they've never bought anything for them, you've inspired me today. You encouraged me to work out. I don't know you, but thank you for doing what you're doing. Like it's an amazing thing and people want that in their life. And I promise you, if you have any fear or like verbiage, questions or whatever about how to like put it out there for the first time, we will help you, girl. That's what we're here for. And then here's another one. And Jenny, this actually came up in one of our group feeds today is, I'm not an expert, right? Like I'm not a fitness expert. I'm not a nutrition expert. I can't tell people what to do. And none of us are, right? But also that's not my job. That's not my job. My job is to do exactly what I said. My job is to work out every day, to show you that I will show up and be there for you every single day, to show you that I have researched and I know all of these workouts and I know that you have access to nutrition plans that I will get you plugged into, that I will get you plugged into challenge groups, that I will be there to support and answer questions and cheer you on, right? That's what we do, you guys. Like, I don't need to come up with some like scientific nutrition plan to know that you can get results, because the thing is we work for this company with over 450,000 coaches that do exactly what we're doing in taking these tested programs that they have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars creating, putting test groups in, creating nutrition plans that match the workout programs based on what your goals are, what you want to get out of it, where you're starting. And so we have all of the tools we need, and we don't need to be an expert. We just need to be able to show up every day. We need to be able to show up every day to do your workout, do your shake, and be willing to share your story with other people and help them along the way. So that is probably it, right? Let me think. Okay, so we've gone over time, what it is to be a coach, what to expect, what you can do in training, maybe some things that are scaring you. I think the biggest thing is, if you are still interested in coaching, make sure you have a program that you can be plugged into. We have a challenge group starting next week. Make sure you're plugged into those challenge groups. Make sure you have a program picked out, and talk to your coach about it, right? Like, ask any questions that you have. Ask the gal that invited you to this call if you have more questions or fears, or if you're just like super excited about it and you're like, girl, sign me up, I'm super pumped. Let her know, shoot her a text. And also know that you can ask any one of us questions and pop into like our Facebook groups or whatever that you want to do. I'm just really excited. So I can't stop. It's January and like everyone is super pumped, and our challenge groups are just like slaying right now. So I'm just excited to grow our team, and that is all I have. Beth, do you have anything to add?
I just wanted to add, first of all, to kind of piggyback off of your excitement about the fact that it's January, if you've ever considered coaching for like even more than a second, whether it was before this call or after this call, take advantage of the fact that it is January and that people are going to be more interested now more than ever in getting started on their health and fitness journey. And the next 12 months of your life like could look so very different, even if you don't even like have plans for what you want it to look like. And the other thing I was going to say is, if you feel like there's even just something missing in your life, I can promise you that coaching in some capacity, whether it's the additional accountability or being a part of this community, which is something that I didn't know I needed in my life, that is one of my most favorite things about coaching is our team and the community and the friendships that I've made and the relationships that I've built. Even if you can't put your finger on what's missing, but you just know that you want more of something, coaching is for you. You can figure it out later. Take advantage of the fact that it's January and that the next 12 months are going to be incredible, and your life could look very different at this time next year. That's all I wanted to add.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll get this recording posted in the event page. And if you want it sent directly to you, just reach out to whoever invited you and we'll get it sent. Y'all have a good night.
Night.